Hello. Today I'm going to be reviewing some of my favorite PlayStation 2 video games. Some are more well known, some are lesser known. We'll start off with this one. This is called Test Drive Eve of Destruction. It is a racing game. You can do demolition derbies in it, figure eight racing, and head-to-head suicide races, and basically redneck races, I guess you would call them. You can drive many cars in it. There's 57 Chevys, there's even hearses and ambulances, school buses. It's pretty cool. It's actually the best the test drive series in my opinion. Back of it right there. It's also available for Xbox, regular Xbox, I might add. It's very, the graphics are pretty good. There's even when you're playing it, there's actually real life. They show real life footage of like demolition derbies and stuff, and some of the races they actually do. They got this one where they tow trailers with boats behind, and they race around the track. And then the boat can detach and fly off, so it's gutsy stuff. But they actually do these kind of races in real life in some areas, which is definitely interesting. It's definitely worth checking out if you're into racing games or if you're a redneck like me, whatever. Next one is NASCAR Chase for the Cup. Not normally into a lot of NASCAR stuff, but it's in it you can races my favorite driver of all time, Dale Earnhardt Sr. So it's worth it for that. Other than that, it's your typical racing game. But as I said, if you're a Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan, you can find his name in the menu, and you're choosing your driver, and then you can drive as him. And it's one of the very few NASCAR games that you can drive as him. In my opinion, he should be in all of them, but that's NASCAR for you. Next one's a Midnight Club 3, the Dumb Edition remix. You can race muscle cars in it, as well as imports, what I call rice burners, not real cars in my opinion. I prefer the muscle cars in it. It's a fun game. Controls are really easily, which is good. You can hit your nitrous oxide to get the extra boost. It's graphics are pretty done well for the time. It's definitely a game that still holds up today, 2016. It's not one that, the first two Midnight Clubs really weren't all that great. The third one, definitely the best of the first three. I haven't played the Los Angeles one yet, but I assume that it's good. I like racing with classic muscle cars and 57 Chevys and hearses and stuff like that. Rice burners like Hondas and stuff like that, they just don't do it for me. And it's, they're basically glorified lawnmowers. I guess would be the best way to put it. And they have fast engines, but that's about all they got going for them. They're basically made of plastic. So anyways, this one is called Downhill Domination. It is a mountain bike racing game. One of the very few mountain bike racing games there is. There actually is only a few for any system. And this is the best one that I've played. It's controls are pretty easily. I mean, it's a little more difficult than you think. Racing a bike in a game than it is racing a car or a motorcycle. So you do have to pay attention because you're racing down a mountain basically, and you have to watch out for trees and stuff like that. So, all in all, it's a fun game, and it's because there's so few of them out there. There's only like maybe two or three other mountain bike racing games that exist, and it's definitely the best one. And there's another one's called Mountain Bike Adrenaline. That one was okay, but it they didn't really put a lot of effort into it. So Downhill Domination is still the best one that you can get, and it's only available for PlayStation 2. And if you're a mountain biker or just want something different, it's a game that's worth getting. Another one is called Motorstorm Arctic Edge. It is another racing game. You can race trucks, four-wheelers, snowmobiles, big rigs, motocross motorcycles. This one was only on PlayStation 2. The original Motorstorm was for PS3, but this one actually was a release date actually made it for PlayStation 2, which was good. And it's, I was actually surprised at how easy the controls are, because you would think that they would be difficult, but it's really not. And I was actually doing really well in the game. I don't really know where I've left off, but it's of the one of the last most recent releases for PS2 before they stopped making the games. Is probably one of the best last racing games that you can get for the system. And the PlayStation 2 itself holds up as well today as it did when it first was released, because it's nostalgia. You can get one pretty cheap. A lot of the games you can get pretty cheap if you know where to look. So it's definitely worth getting one if you're a gamer. If you just want a game system but you don't want to spend a lot of money and you don't want to get nothing elaborate, it's the way to go. And, I had an Xbox, I had GameCube, stuff like that. Just I lose interest in them. They're not really. There's not a lot of games for them. A lot of games are more expensive, and systems don't last as long as a PlayStation does. And this one is called The Dukes of Hazzard: Return to the General Lee. And yes, the car does have the flag on it. There's a lot of controversy about that flag, but that's the way some people are. These days they're offended by everything. This is the third game in the Dukes of Hazzard series. The first two were for PlayStation 1. All good games. This would probably be the better one, simply because the graphics were better and the sound quality was more clear. But all three of them are good games. So it's cool to drive the General Lee and the other cars that were on the show. My favorite show of all time. Some of the characters voice in the game. I do believe that John Schneider, Catherine Batt, and Tom Wolpat, at least those three. And I think James Best, who played Roscoe, I do believe is voices Roscoe in the game as well. So it's worth it for that, because he himself passed away last year on April 6th. So It's a good game to get. It's kind of like a memory, especially if you're a Dukes of Hazzard fan. The Dukes of Hazzard is just one of those shows that most people like, and I don't really understand why they took it off the air because there was nothing even remotely offensive about it. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. It just shows you the kind of world we live in, I guess. Um, this is a Western game called Gun, where it's basically like it plays out like a Western. It's like a shooting game and ride horses and stuff. It's pretty cool because again, there's not a lot of games of these types. So it's also available for Xbox, and I think it's even available for Xbox 360 too as well. So fairly, I would say it's not like difficult to play, but if you're not used to that type of game, yeah, it can be because it's like there's not a lot of Western type games out there like Red Dead Revolver and the Red Dead series are like the only other ones that I know of. So if you're going to get it, make sure you have some patience for it because there are some difficulties in it. But it's worth it. The game's really not that expensive, even if you want the 360 version. That's only like $10, so that's not too bad. And it's like I think 2 or 3 or less for the PS2 version, which I have. So it's it's worth it. I mean, Red Dead Revolver, I don't think I have that, but that was a good game too. And here's one of my all-time favorites for PlayStation 2, Blood Rain 2. She's a half human, half vampire, and she has these blades as her weapons, as you can see. She also picks up guns, and there's a way that you can use this chain thing that she has to flip somebody across the room and either throw them like just across the room or impale them on like a deer antler or something, which is pretty cool. This is the second one in the series. I got the first one on the way, actually, from Lucia. Um, there's also a few Blood Rain movies. The first one with Christina Loken being the best. The second one, not so much, because there's a different actress in it. Same with the third one, although the third one was a little better than the second one. If you're going to get the Blood Rain movies, I suggest you just get the first one. The sequels aren't even worth it. Christina Loken, if you played the video games, she played a good Blood Rain. Even though the storylines are like a little, not exactly what the video games were, but that's the case with most video game movie adaptations. They're different from the movies. I mean, look at the Resident Evil. There's like 6 or 7 of those now. Those were good to watch like once or twice. After that, you're like, what the hell am I watching this for? Yeah, this is a fun game. The graphics are really good, and it's a sequel that holds up well because sometimes the sequels are a disappointment. In this case, it's actually beats the original by a little bit. The original's good, but this one is definitely better. But they're 1 and 2 are both worth having if you want to get them. And it's pretty cheap to get both. Cost you like maybe $10, $12 for both with shipping, so that's not too bad. This one's called Ghost Rider, and it's also available for PlayStation 4 with the SP, I do believe. Fun game. Not a lot of people like, from what I understand, but yeah, I like it because I don't really see anything wrong with it. I mean, you get to play as Ghost Rider, you get to drive the motorcycle. I mean, what else did you expect it to be? I mean, if you read the comic books or you've seen the movie, then you know what to expect. And I knew what I was getting, and I was more than happy with it. So, and I don't recall it having the song Ghost Riders in the Sky in it, but I could be wrong. Well, the game's not that expensive if you want to get it. So, back of the cover, see him on the motorcycle on it. It came out, I think when the first movie came out in theaters. So, it's fun though. I mean, I like it. Normally I don't get into that superhero stuff too much, but Ghost Rider I like. I actually have this. This is a toy Ghost Rider from on a motorcycle. It's a plastic one. It's from the comic book. This actually was out before the movie, way before the movie came out. But pretty cool for what it is. I had to re-glue something on it, the front piece on it, but it's plastic, so you gotta expect that. They don't make things like they used to. This one's Scooby-Doo Night of the 100 Frights. So, a lot of the characters from the Scooby-Doo game, I do believe, voice in the game. There's several Scooby-Doo games out there, but that's the best one. It's got the easiest controls. It still has difficulties, but it's not unplayable like the other ones are. I mean, I played some of the other Scooby-Doo games, video games, and they're just, you get stuck in them and you literally can't move, so, what's the point? I stuck with this one. I'm happy with it. I play it. My friends like to play it, so it's the best Scooby-Doo game that they came out with, unless they end up making another one for a later system that they can improve on. But haven't seen it yet, so that's still the best PlayStation 2 game. Now, here is a game you may or may not have heard of. This one is called Splashdown Rides Gone Wild, and it is a Sea-Doo jet ski racing game. It's a different kind of racing game. There's a first racetrack in it. It was set in Bermuda, and it starts off on a nice, bright, sunny day, and then it shifts, and all of a sudden you're like in a graveyard of ships, and there's World War II planes dog fighting overhead. There's other ships coming out of nowhere, and it's supposed to be the Bermuda Triangle. It's supposed to be like the alternate world, like where the ships and planes go after they disappear, I guess. But it's honestly worth it, even if you just wanted to race on that track. I mean, the game's not that expensive, so it's worth it just for that. It's got all other fun tracks too, like as you can see one here where it has dinosaurs, stuff like that. So it's I played a couple of the other jet ski games, like the first Splashdown, which was bland. There was really nothing interesting about it. And this is actually one of the reasons I got another PlayStation 2 was to get this game. And I mean, it was worth it. I'm glad I did it. And this is unfortunately only available for PlayStation 2, so if you look at it, if you're looking for it for GameCube or Xbox or any of the later systems, good luck, because it doesn't exist. It was only released on PlayStation 2, and sometimes came as a bundle pack with one of the ATVs, I think the third one, or second or third one, and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, where I think it was like at the time like 20, $30 you can get the 3 games, which wasn't bad for 3 games at the time when the PlayStation 2 was still the hot system. So, but of the 3 games, because I originally bought it in the third pack when in the 3 pack when I first had a PlayStation 2. That was the game I liked of the 3. I also have some other ones here that don't have their cases. They didn't come with them because I got them used. This is my favorite pirate game that's out there. It's called Pirates: The Legend of Black Cat, and you can actually, unlike a lot of Pirates games, like the Pirates of the Caribbean ones, you can't even do the ship battles in this one. In this one you can. So you can do like a lot of sword fights and stuff in this, where the Pirates of the Caribbean video game is only sword play, which gets boring after a while. And you kind of see why those games aren't that popular. But this is the best Pirates game I played. The second one would have to be Sid Meier's Pirates, which was a pretty good game itself. Um, this one's called Jaws Unleashed. Unlike the Nintendo version of Jaws, you can actually play as the shark, and you can attack other fish and ships and boats and stuff. So it's a fun game. So I mean, it's worth it for that because I'm into sharks and creature movies and stuff like that. So you can actually, this one you can actually be the shark and you can, you're the antagonist, which is good. Whereas in the Nintendo version, the original NES, you're going after the shark. And honestly, I don't know what their deal was making that game that way, because who wants that? Same thing with the original the only Nightmare on Elm Street game also for NES. You couldn't play as Freddy. You stuck some goofy kid going around looking for him. Talk about a waste of money. Got a couple fishing games in here. Mark Davis Pro Bass Challenge, Fisherman's Bass Club. Those are both good fishing games. And can't really say too much about them because they're fishing games. So you know how to quite fish in a fishing game, and you're good. Anyways, I will probably do more video game reviews at some point, but this is my first one. I just wanted to do a video of video games that I've always liked and like to play. So hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, as I've said before, I'm still new in making these videos. I don't have the best camera or the best microphone, but I work with what I got, and I hope you enjoyed it. So have a good day.